Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this news comes from Birmingham and the surrounding areas. This first story broke in the early hours of the morning, but we only got news of it a couple of hours ago. There was reports of a shooting in the Hockley area of Birmingham at 3:30 yesterday. On the junction of Abbey Road and Park Road, a 19-year-old male turned up to hospital 20 minutes later with a gunshot injury to his arm. What's really interesting about that situation and statement is that the police went on to say that they are keeping an open mind whether the gunshot reports in Hockley were connected to the 19-year-old turning up to hospital with a gunshot wound 20 minutes later. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that at 3 o'clock in the morning, when there's nobody really out on the street, if somebody heard several gunshots, then they most likely were gunshots. And if somebody turns up to a hospital 20 minutes later with a gunshot wound, and I'll assume a nearby hospital like City Hospital or Queen Elizabeth Hospital, then I think it would be a fairly accurate assumption that they may be connected. But similar to the shooting in Small Heath, where there was 3 bullet holes in the window but they didn't rule out that it could have been fireworks, is what seems to be happening a lot lately with a lot of the shootings in Birmingham. West Midlands Ambulance Service said they were called at 10 to 4 to reports of disorder on Abbey Street. So for there to have been reports of disorder and also witnesses reporting gunshots, and then somebody turned up to a hospital with a gunshot wound, but they don't know if they're connected, to me seems very unlikely. So I'll definitely keep you updated on that story, but bear in mind as well, we've just done the murder of a 19-year-old in Liverpool, the murder of Niall Corrigan in the previous video. So this is the second 19-year-old in the UK to be shot in 24 hours. And in other news in Birmingham, detectives have launched a murder investigation after a woman's body was found at an address in Stockland Green on the 12th of November. They were called to an address on George Road in Birmingham at 8:25 following a report that a woman had been stabbed. Despite the best efforts of emergency services, a 51-year-old woman was pronounced dead at the scene. A 52-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder and is currently in police custody. The incident is thought to be domestic related and the police are not looking for anybody else at this stage. The police officer in charge of the case, Stuart Mobbersley, said that our thoughts are with the family of the woman who are being supported by our officers, and an investigation is underway at the moment, but they are not seeking anybody else in relation to this. As the UK and Birmingham have just gone into a second lockdown, this may be another example of the domestic violence increase in homes across the country. As I covered in the video the other day with Octavian, the rapper Octavian, and his ex-girlfriend's accusations of violence, I put links in the description for domestic violence helplines. I will do the same with this video as well. Also on the 12th of November, a woman was found dead in a house in the Black Country, Netherton. A man was initially arrested on Thursday on Crossley Street on suspicion of murder. The woman is yet to be formally identified, but she was 30 years old, and a 38-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder and remains in custody. Police said they were investigating after the body of a woman was found on Crossley Street, and they were alerted by the ambulance service who discovered her at 12:40 p.m. The death of the woman is being treated as unexplained, but the man has been arrested on suspicion of murder, but I believe now that he's been released without any suspicion of murder. So this may have been a totally separate incident. But, of course, the police have to follow inquiries, and sometimes people do get arrested for very serious offences. And in relation to the shooting that took place to the 19-year-old, this is a series of shootings that have occurred in Birmingham in the past few weeks. And in relation to a murder that occurred on the 28th of August this year of Murtaza Nasir from Stechford. He was shot dead outside a house on Bagshaw Road on the evening of Friday the 28th. A 22-year-old man has been charged with his murder and remanded in custody, they said. And today, on the 13th of November, police arrested a 28-year-old man from an address in Sheffield. Has been transferred back to the West Midlands to answer questions for the police. So really appreciate you joining me today for this update. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll be back again very shortly. Peace.